Alright, so in this video we're going to cover something that is in between monopoly and perfect competition, and it's called monopolistic competition. And it's a market structure that has three distinguishing characteristics. The first is that there are many firms in the market. Second, that there is product differentiation. So this means that the products are different. They're not all identical like they were in perfect competition. And then lastly, there's free entry and exit in the long run. So this characteristic and this characteristic are like perfect competition, but then I'll pick a different color to highlight the one that's like monopoly, that this product differentiation is kind of like monopoly. So what happens when we put these kind of three assumptions or characteristics of a market together? Well, what happens is that we get a short run outcome that looks very much like monopoly, and we get a long run outcome that looks very much like perfect competition. And so I'm going to walk you through the logic here with this diagram, and then from there we're going to kind of go and cover what other outcomes could look like. So in the short run, firms choose how much to produce as if they were a monopoly. And so they produce Q star, which is where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So this should sound familiar. Marginal revenue is what the firm earns on each additional unit, and marginal cost is how much it costs the firm to produce each additional unit. So the firm, if it's producing where marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, say like at this point right here, if the firm were producing here 30 units of output, so let's call this Q1, here they would make more money if they were to produce more units, because on the next additional unit they would make more than it would cost them. So they will continue to produce more units going down this line right here all the way until they get to this point right here, which I will call point A, and I will label that Q star. So I'm just going to go cover the logic if we were on the other side, just so that you can see how it works once more. So if we are over here in green, and we're producing right here, which is, let's call this Q2, marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue. So what it means is that we're producing some goods where it costs us more to produce those goods than we can earn for them. And so we're going to do better if we are going to make more money, we're going to make more profit if we produce less goods. So we're going to continue to produce less and less and less until we arrive back at point A and Q star. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this little bit in green just to leave the graph a little bit neater and keep on going. So we've kind of explained this first part right here. So now we are going to I'm going to explain the second part, which is that firms price their goods based on the value of the demand line at Q star. They can earn a profit or a loss. So basically, they decide that we're going to produce this many units, and this looks like, I'm kind of tired of saying Q star, so this looks like about 33 units. So I'll just say 33. And they're going to choose to charge what the market demand will support. So to find out how much they charge, you go up from the demand line, up from where marginal revenue equals marginal cost until you hit the demand line. So that's like right here, and I'm just going to draw some dotted lines to signify that that's directly above. And so this demand line says that in order to sell 33 units of output in this market, they have to price their good at about, let's say that this is $320. And so this firm says that I want to sell all of the product that I'm going to make, so I will price it at $320. And again, this demand line exists because of product differentiation, because each product is a little bit different. Each firm's specific product is a little bit different. So right now, I want to talk about some examples of industries that might of an industry that might be characterized best by monopolistic competition. And the one that always comes to my mind is clothes. That we have a lot of different brands, and that in any one season, one brand may kind of be the fashionable thing to wear. And so in that one season, that company like Hollister or American Eagle, or I don't know what else, Forever 21, any of those brands might make a profit. But in the long run, clothes are clothes, and there's always going to be these trends that kind of come and go. And in the long run, really, economic profit for any one of these individual firms is probably going to go to zero because there's just so many clothing companies out there that all kind of basically make the same thing. All right, so now we're going to get down to the long run. And so what changes to go from the short run to the long run is this free entry and exit. So there is no free entry and exit of firms in the long run. But just like in perfect competition, if firms are earning a profit, then more firms are going to enter the market and drive that and shift this demand line left up until the point where firms are earning zero economic profit. And then if firms are making a loss, if the demand line is like all the way down here, then firms will leave the market and shift the demand line to the right up until the point where you are earning exactly zero economic profit. So what does this look like? And I've gone ahead and just drawn two extra graphs down here for you so that we can see what they look like. So I'm going to talk about this one on the left second, and I'm going to talk about this one on the right first. So this is long run, and all monopolistic competition, I'll just abbreviate monopolistic competition. So what's different between these two graphs, between the one on the bottom right and the one here? The only two things that are different are the demand line and the marginal revenue line, and I want you to see how they shift. So the demand line here, and I left out the legend because it was just a little bit too scrunched. So the demand line here is exactly tangent to average total cost. And sorry, I'm just kind of labeling these as I go here. Where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost is right here. And so this is our Q star for the exact same reasoning as above. But what's different now is that if I go up from Q star to demand, I exactly hit average total cost. So this firm is making zero economic profit because it is charging on average exactly what it costs that firm to produce on average each good. So as a whole, this firm makes absolutely zero economic profit. And that's what competition does, is that it drives the market to zero economic profit. So now I want to go back up here, and we can see that this firm was making an economic profit. And I actually want to go ahead and show you how to represent that. So it sold 33 units of output for $320. So I'm going to go ahead and say profit, which is abbreviated pi normally. So I'll just write this out again. Profit is equal to $320 times 33 units of output. So this is price times quantity, which is total revenue, minus total cost, which is just average total cost. And right here I'm going to say that that's 200 minus 200 times quantity, which is 33 again. So that which is equal to, as a whole, total cost. Because remember, average total cost times quantity is equal to total cost. So if we do a little bit, I didn't leave myself much room there, so I guess I'll go to the right. So if we simplify a little bit, this is really 320 minus 200 times 33, which is just 120 times 33. And let me see if I can figure out what that is really quickly. I'll just pull out a calculator, and 120, 1 second, sorry about this. Seems like both my calculators are dead, so I'll just do it by hand. So we have 120 times 33, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3, write the 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 6, 1. So we make $1,960 in profit. And graphically, you can represent that by this box right here. And the way that I know that it's this box is that this is 33 times 320 minus 200. So this is the exact same number, the area of that rectangle right here, and I guess I should color it in a little bit better. Of that rectangle right there is exactly equal to profit over here, which is 1,960. So this is an example of a firm making a profit. The long run outcome, this is profit equal to 0. So this is neither a profit nor a loss. And then the third graph that I included here is what a loss looks like in a monopolistic competition. In a monopolistically competitive market, excuse me. So firms may tolerate a loss in the short run, but they won't ever tolerate it in the long run. So in the short run here, we have marginal revenue equal to marginal cost right here. And again, I haven't labeled these, but they're the same colors as all the other ones, so we're just going with that. So this will be the firm's efficient level of output. And when you go up to demand here, demand is lower than average total cost. So the price that the firm is going to get, it's only going to get like $180 per unit, and it's going to cost them on average like $210 to produce this good. So they're going to lose $30 times Q star in this period. And so if the firm thinks that it's going to continue to make a loss forever, then it'll just go out of business, and it'll be one of those firms that goes out of business to increase the demand. But if it thinks that the next period it might do better, then it may stay in business. So that is all that I really want to say about monopolistic competition. I'm just going to go back over the short run and long run conclusions one more time just to kind of cement them in your brain. So firms choose how much to produce as if they were a monopoly, and so they produce where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. And then they price their goods on the value of the demand line at Q star. So you just go from Q star directly up to the demand line, and that's how you, and then over to price, and that's where you get the price that they charge. And in the short run, they can earn a profit, which is what we've detailed up top, or a loss, which is in the bottom left. Then in the long run outcome, firms still produce where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, but competition drives profit to 0. And so we know that demand will be tangent and equal to average total cost at Q star. So that is this picture right here, where demand is tangent and equal to average total cost at the optimal level of output. And all the firms in the market earn 0 economic profit. And that's all that I have to say. I'll see you in the next video.